Welcome to the FO show. This your boy Antoine, aka FO, here with the person. Obviously, y'all should know who she is. This is my mother, the person who
Why is
made
it?
me. Can you hear me? I think you glitching on here now.
What happened to my mic, my thing?
Y'all gotta excuse the old people. I think.
Oh,
All right, we don't have you right now. We got you. You're timed out on here. Hey,
say
check this out.
mic is. Oh, okay.
Okay. So right now we don't see you though.
Uh, hold on. I think it says enter studio.
Okay, that's what you got to do.
Uh, what's going? I don't know. It said you're backstage. Only the host can see you. The host may add you.
All right, you entered on another thing now. Hold on, let's get you. I only got you on voice now. What you got?
Um, I
Oh yeah,
don't know. You're in the road. It say everyone can see and hear you, but I don't see me.
this is an actual great example of why our parents should not have technology.
Whatever.
That's how that's working right now.
It's repeating.
You said it's doing what?
It's repeating.
Okay, so what I need you to do, because we're gonna stay live because I love this. You're on here on two different ways, actually.
So how do I cut off for one?
I'll remove you from it.
Okay. I think I cut off one.
You did not, but I'm gonna remove you. How about this? You go out, get rid of everything that you got, and then you'll come back. I can entertain the people while this is happening.
Go. You say cut it all the way off and then come back
Just
in on the link.
get just leave the stoop, leave everything, and then
Do
we'll come all the way
that.
back.
Okay. Okay.
All right, there it is. Hey, this actually it's not bad. I like the fact that that's happening. I don't like the fact that it's happening. Okay, I said that wrong. I don't like the fact that it's happening. We are here live on the FO show. I'm actually trying to bring my mother on here. If you haven't saw what the actual title of the thing was, then that's what we're doing. Okay, I think we got her back. Let's see what we got. Here we go. There you go.
But I gotta move my
Okay,
camera right.
all right, so we here now. We here now. All right. How you doing?
I am good. I'm tired. A little sleepy,
Uh,
but I'm good.
all right, you don't have to. I meant to tell her that she didn't have to put her whole name on there.
Hey, you didn't tell me all that first.
It don't matter. So this is, if anybody doesn't know, This is the FO show. FO Diggity Don Dada Slick. What? The ruler. And this is the person. I got to point that way. This is the person who made me. That's my mother. I'm her first child. That is her third child right there. So every time I ever refer to DeMarcus, my brother, the person who I've definitely do a lot of this for, that's his mother right there. So how you doing today?
I'm good. Just found out some other news raising these kids. One of them found out today he got asthma. Never knew this.
Right. So what my mom want to talk about, because she's on here and I got her to be on here. We are on here now. We're talking about, because what is it called that you said? What, just give me the word.
But raising grandkids,
What is it called though? What is that? That's a thing that's called something, right?
it's called insanity.
Y'all can understand how it's hard to get an answer from my mother.
I don't know why I don't remember the word. If I said it and it doesn't get repeated or recorded, then it's forgotten.
Well, she told me the word. So raising you're raising grandkids.
Raising grandchildren.
Right. Now, these are the children of one of your children.
My only
So,
daughter.
well, I was actually trying to go away from saying whose children they were, but
Oh,
she already said it, and we
ain't say her
lie.
name.
Right. And he said her name. Good God. Come on now. Mom. Let me lead this one. All right.
I
All right. So the way that happened, as far as you being a parent, you were a parent to 6 children. People don't really need, and I think they already know how old I am. I am 39.
Detecting at your front door.
And then my mom has all types of security systems going on.
yes, sorry.
We gonna set her up the right way one time, but I like that it's live and uncut, because this is the FO show live chop session, how we do it, but it's okay. Listen, raising and being the person over them as their first person in charge, as the way that you have to raise them, sending them to school and everything like that. How is that different than doing that with your own actual children?
Actually, it sort of feel the same because it's a lot overwhelming. I mean, but I learned things from that I learned along the way. Now I can do better because back then I was learning as I was going. Now I know before I deal with certain things. It's like one of them dealing with a mental issue. And when my son was dealing with that, I didn't know how to deal with that. But now I know to watch for signs and signals and things of that nature. So it's a lot of things that I learned raising children that I can do better with grandchildren because I know, like it's almost like you tell yourself, if I'd have known that when I was 21, I would have did this differently. But now I get an opportunity to actually do it differently.
Right. And that's understandable, because those are my nieces and nephews. So along with that, with these children, do you see things that are actually the same, as far as with the children that are your actual biological straight offspring? I forgot what the word was for it, but straight offspring to what are your grandchildren? Do you see things that are different, that you have to approach things differently?
No, they still try to be slick and still try to be manipulative. They just try to do it, but they know that like I remind them, I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad, I'm your grandma, and I'm from the old school. And I do it the way I did my kids. And I know a lot of people these days probably wouldn't agree with some of the things that I do because, I learned from my mama and we came out all right. But hey, I put it down like that. Old school for real. It's, hey, you gonna get it like you got it. You got it coming, you gonna get it. So they learning my way, but they've been here 7 months and it's still a struggle, but we getting there.
So with that struggle, so things are happening, right? As far as with you being a grandmother, you're a grandmother to now. I actually personally forgot that number. So what is that number?
19 that I know of, but y'all been all around. So I mean,
First of all, yeah, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I gave you all mine. I'm good. So I but
19 that I know of. That's what
19.
I'm gonna
Okay.
leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. 19 that I know of.
So you have these grandkids. That's good. That's what you're doing. And there was a thing where what I did ask you was, were there some similarities as far as, any of those kids have some of the same attributes or characteristics or behaviors that some of your children that you raised in that generation right above them did have?
Yes.
But is there a different way of thinking as far as that? Like, do you have to think outside of, okay, these are not my kids per se. I mean, these kids are here because of me, because they're the offspring of your offspring. But do you think that you have to think differently because that child is not yours right then immediately?
Actually, no. I actually treat them like they was my kids. I
Mm,
mean, I I probably am not. I can't say I'm not as hard as I was on my own kids, but I still it's a very narrow amount of space that I'm not as hard. But I'm very hard on my grandkids, and it's only because I know now. Back then, I didn't know the world that y'all was living in. There was a lot of things that y'all went through as children that I didn't know of. But now I know the dangers and the craziness and all of that. And because of that, yeah, I do things a little different. I'm more aware. I don't even let the 14-year-old go outside by herself. I don't. I'm less trusting, so I watch them more. I'm paying attention to them more because I've learned more patience. So
but don't you
back.
think? But don't you think that, especially like the things that were actually the things that can hurt us, harm us, that were bad for us, were actually more physically present than that of the things are today, because now today it's a lot of technology. I mean, right now, what I'm doing with you right now is technology.
Yeah,
So those things, me personally, I didn't have kids back then, obviously, because I was a child. But me personally, I think that the way that the world is now, I feel that our children, I have an adult child. If you personally, my friend, then you do know about my adult child. But I have an adult child, and I think that those things out there are actually more prevalent in the way that our children view themselves and are doing whatever they're doing growing up. Because yes, we I grew up, I walked to school by
yeah,
myself. Well,
yeah,
I walked to school with my little brother by myself, whatever. I I was a younger child who was at the house while my mother had to go out and go to work and whatever and do all that. You know what I'm saying? I was there. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
now, and I told you then, Mom, I told you then, like seriously, like you remember when we had to switch schools and Navante, my baby brother, you made us go out there and wait on the school bus for him, and like literally, he didn't need. I mean, it was I don't know 50 feet away from the house. I don't know how much it was, but you made us go out there and wait with him. But I remember walking all the way to school. I remember watching these kids, you know what I mean? I remember doing that. I don't know if the world changed or however any of that happened, but I do understand there's a shift in the way that things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like right now with the technology of today, I am very wary. Like when the grandkids, like back in the day, y'all be in y'all room working on stuff and probably could have been doing anything and had your door shut. But now I don't allow no shut doors. And when you on your tablet, you're gonna be in my presence because there's just so much. So it's to me, it's such a quicker way for people, crazy people, to get to your children, and you have to be very aware. And like I said, back in the day, I was learning, it was like on the job training, but now it's like I've graduated and I got my phd in raising kids, so now I know better in, certain ways and things that I see. And so I pay attention a lot more because back then I was young. I was still wanting to go party. I still wanted to go have fun. I never got to really be a child. I mean, I had a child when I was a child. So my whole point was I tried to get my childhood back. But now it's like being adult and a mother of grown children who also one has a grown child. It's like you look at life differently once you get to a grandmother age and you say, hey, look, that ain't good for you. And then you hear your mother in your ear telling you that wasn't good for you. And you say, man, I should have listened to mama. I should have listened to daddy. I should have listened. But now it's like I'm trying to tell them. And it's like nowadays, these kids so much on social media, it's like they don't hear nothing. I mean, the social media then took over their mind. It's almost like an alien. Social media is like an alien. It done took over the children's minds of the day. And it's like I've set time limits. You get an hour on a tablet, you get an hour or 2 hours on TV. You have to earn that. Back in the day, y'all watch TV, crazy stuff I showed y'all. I
TV
mean,
TV went off when we was
yeah,
younger.
but some of the stuff on
It
TV,
didn't
I
go
used to get
off.
I used to get the DVDs, and the stuff I was getting about shooting and killing and all that stuff. Now I don't allow them to watch this type of stuff. But back in the day, y'all had little guns. I don't get them things like that. To me, it's like you're prepping a child for that type of life. So back in the day, I didn't know that. Hey, look, but now I know. I'm not gonna in that I'm not gonna say that you're not gonna turn out the way that you is. I'm gonna do my best now to lead you the way that I think you should go, as opposed to me not knowing what to do back then. I know better now. So I try to lead them in a better way. I sit and I can calmly now more talk to people. At first my grandkids used to come just visit and they used to get on my nerves and I used to fuss all the time. But now I can actually sit down and have a conversation with them as opposed to back in the day I had six of y'all. I was literally alone. Y'all just do this, just go do this, go do that, go do this, go there, and. But now it's like, okay, hey, sit down. What's going on? What's going on with you? I have that. It's like I have more of a leisure time to deal with real issues because I got some of these kids are going through some real serious issues, and
Now
I can
now
recognize it.
but listen to this. Now, actually, and I definitely will never do this. I will never put you on the spot. You my mom. You're the person who carried me for 9 months. I would never put you on the spot like that. But with that, with children today, I think they get a head start. They do get a head start because of the way that what was given to them. Because we didn't have that. I remember growing up, I had a pager. You remember I had to have that pager?
Yeah. And you
You
better
had to,
call when that pager go off.
right. So, but before that, before even a pager, I was, you hear that pager, that's when you got to come on. You got to call that number, you got to do whatever. But now it's kids today, and there's a way that these kids are being raised today, which some of these things are having great circumstances or whatever you want to call it, but some of these things are having bad things because some people don't understand consequences. There are a lot of
Yeah,
kids out here who don't understand consequences.
exactly.
I
They
understand
don't.
consequences because what is the thing that I did? I didn't have a whole summer vacation after high school. What did I do? I joined the army. I went straight to the army.
Yeah,
I didn't have a plan. I didn't have anything. I went to the army because I'll tell everybody I did not have a plan. I didn't have a plan. All I knew was that I need to go, and that's what I did.
yeah.
That helped me out with some stuff. Now that's not for everybody.
Oh no.
I didn't have a dad growing up, and then now I'm gonna pause for a second for you. I want to ask you something. Like I said, I'll never put anybody on blast, especially my mother. But what did we know? What I did not know my whole life, right?
Yeah,
And what was that?
yeah. That.
Exactly. Okay. So I did not know who my father was my whole life. And you know what? That's okay. That's not okay in the whole sense of the thing, but that was okay because there was a lot of people who did know who their dad was, and he wasn't doing ish, right?
Yep.
I knew exactly who wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. That's what a lot of people knew. I found out who mine was. That's a whole nother story, whatever. And I want everybody to know one thing. If you listen to me, if you are subscribed to my podcast, anything, I'm not putting my mom on blast, period. Because I never do that. I just didn't know who it was. And I did not know, and I did find out when I was 35 years old. And that's okay because first of all, what we didn't have was social media, right?
Yep.
If y'all had social media, you would definitely knew who he was.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the crazy thing is, I was just watching a thing about a girl who was trying to find her dad for like 30 something years. And this man was her father, but for 30 something years, the when they were 14 is when she got pregnant, and the man left and moved out of town. His family moved him out of town. So he didn't know he had a daughter for 34 years because social media at wasn't there. But like nowadays, she would have been able to look him up or look a family member up, and
Right.
that child could have had a whole relationship. He got grandkids and all this, and he didn't know because back then, hey, what you had a phone, but if you ain't know where they went, you can't find them. Now you can go find almost anybody. So
Exactly.
it's totally
Exactly.
different now.
So I found I found my father, and that's a whole nother thing that actually that's a thing outside of this because this is a little serious. Mom, sorry, you're going to be part of this because I'm talking to my mom right now, but I'm going to talk to my dad now.
Yeah,
But it's not on this. But it's not even about that. It's really about finding who you are as a person. Period. I mean, when you raise a child, a child, if you happen to be have to get into that situation where you're a, a, a grandmother, grandfather, whatever, just decent human beings. That's it. A decent human being.
Yeah.
I think that's really simple in what we're doing. It's all
Yeah.
you got to do. And I appreciate you coming on here. This is the person I was birthed from her.
Yep. At an early age.
And that ain't got nothing to do with me. That actually has everything to do with me, but whatever. That was her fault, not mine.
But that's okay. Yeah.
It's always okay. You know what
It's
I mean?
all right. It's
It
okay now.
is because I'm here now.
Yep. And you have done great. And I'm proud of you. So I can't say much more than that, but I'm proud of you. And ain't like you let your circumstances, what you came up in, determine your future. So a lot of people do that.
I did not let it determine who I was. I
Yep.
did at some points in time let it determine how I made my life though. But that was a thing and a decision that was made when you were younger. But now I am able to go throughout life and do what I need to do.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you can go and you can be the chain breaker in that type of situation because you got daughters. So now you have two that's still under 18. So you got one that made it to adulthood without getting into that circumstance, but you still have two more that you still have to lead and guide. So now looking back and saying, hey, my mother went through that and she had a hard situation. It was hard for her. I was trying to explain to these kids, like, hey, life, you saying it's hard. I said, how about having a baby that you got to get up in the middle of the night and feed, change a diaper twice a night, get up, get that baby dressed, get yourself dressed, get that baby bag packed up, get your book bag packed up, drop the child off at daycare, and then go to school all day and come home. And even when you got to do homework, you got to cook, you got to wash, and you still got to take care of a baby all day long. I said, if you want to talk about hard, I said, I could tell you hard. I said, but the thing is, I said it wasn't like I was the type of person to say, well, I don't want my child, so I'm gonna give him away. I still did it because it was something my mom instilled in me. I saw her do it, so I did it. I
And
did the best I could.
the people that you need to tell about that are the people that have not gone through that and the people that are outside of the people that you did that for. Remember that, right?
Yeah.
Right? That you did that for.
Yeah. But like I said, life is what it is. You dealt the hand and you do the best that you can with what you got. And sometimes you make mistakes and hey, but own up to it. And even though I might not have been do the best and did everything right, but I did the best that I could with what I knew to do. And being that I did that, and even though I made mistakes, now I get an opportunity to teach them, since I learned from those mistakes, I get an opportunity to teach children a better way and show them a better way because I know a better way now. But, you know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
they're
Well,
doing great. I mean, hey, we went from people getting F's in class to getting 100% all A pluses because I'm telling them who they are and encouraging them to do better. Back then, I didn't know how to do that, but hey, I did, like I said, you do the best you can with what you know at the time. When you know better, you do better. So now I'm at a point where I know better. So now I'm at a point where I actually can do better for some people that's gonna go out into the world with what I'm teaching them now. And if even with the mistakes I made, I look at it like this. I made mistakes, but yet I still have some successful children. You know what I'm saying? So I say, hey, I have successful children, even though I made a lot of mistakes. But now trying to make these ones' lives even better because I have that opportunity. So
Right. Don't look anybody. Don't look back at my facial expression. By the way, but yes, with that, you know that as far as your children are concerned, we we connect with each other, right?
yeah, I know y'all
So
close, so that's good.
exactly, and that's how we do what we do. So, with that being said, how would you tell a real adult, not a real adult, I don't even know why I use that word, but how would you tell an adult that have children? Now, there are things, and you know I'm a wordsmith, mom. There are things that people can have in their lives as far as doing what they do, and then they grow up, know things, and then continue living lives. What would you tell your children as far as that?
You talking about my older children now, my children? I
Your
would,
children.
yeah, about
That's me
how
on down.
say that one more time.
So you have children,
Hmm.
and we have our own things that we do, that we go through, that we've had our me and you personally, me and my sister and my other brothers or whatever. What would you tell them, your children? What would you tell your children now as far as how to move forward from the point that you are right now?
I would tell, well, I'm gonna tell you, and this is for the rest of them, that
Mhm.
it's a lot of things happen in your life. It's a lot of bad things may happen in your life. It's a lot of situations, a lot of mistakes you may make. But guess what? Is God give you another day on this earth, make that next day better than the day before. Just continue. And every day you get that day to do that, just make sure every day you say, then tomorrow it will be even better than today. So every day it'll get better and better. And I mean, and like I said, yeah, me, I'm still learning. Don't, like you tell me, mom, don't hold grudges. Okay, that's something I have to learn. I have to suck it up, buttercup. So hey, there it is. I can't be like, whatever. I have to set an example, but you also have to set an example because you have children also. So therefore, it's like if my child is following directly in my footsteps, what am I leading them to? Am I leading them to greatness or am I leading them to doom? So then you have to think about that because it's not only just your children watching you, there's other people who are watching you that you have no idea that you're affecting their life. And when you're affecting people's lives, how do you want to do that? Do you want them to look at you and say, oh, oh, it's okay to do this, and it's not because you did it, you might have survived it, but they might try it and it might take them out or it might damage them some type of way. So you got to just continue to show your better self. You be better and just be the best that you can because you can't control other people. So you be the best that you can be, and every day you make yourself better so that somebody else can look and say, if they did it, I did it. And you may never meet this person, but yet you just make an example of being the best that you can be. Regardless of what your circumstances, where you came from, what the situation was, I always look at it. God don't make no mistake with life. So however you got on this earth, God meant for you to come that way. So therefore, however you got here, do the best with what you got because God put you here for a purpose. All of us for a purpose. So therefore, just use what God gave you and continue to just bless other people's lives with your life because that's what we're here for. That's our purpose, is to be a blessing for others, whether it's just something that we say, how we carry ourselves. People watch you and you don't even know that people are watching
Right?
you that closely. And I've been told by a couple who was watching me and my husband and was like, me and my wife watch y'all and we be like, how y'all be this way? And I remember you told me something, Antoine, that really touched my heart. You said, Mom, I want a woman I can love like your husband loved you. You remember telling me that?
Yeah.
And you got it. So my whole thing is, so you saw, I wasn't doing this to try to be this or that. This is the way my husband loved me for real. This is real. And it just is. So we were just living our life, but you watched that and you saw that because you saw me in worse situations, but you saw this man truly love your mother in a way that you've never seen a man love a mother, and you've never had that example before. And now you had it, and now God blessed you with it. So, see, that's what I'm saying. Me just doing what I'm doing, just being a good wife and him being a good husband, just encouraged you to go out there and seek the same thing. So therefore, just living your life. That's what I'm telling you and all my children. Just living your life to the best of your ability. And just trying to be positive and do good things. People watch you and they learn from you, and people are gleaning from your life things, and you don't even know it. But just live your life that way. Hey, you don't ever know who you might bless. So I just try to, like these kids here, I try to, I sit there and I'll ask them questions, like, why would you do this? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? And, I never got to sit down and really talk to y'all about that because it seemed like I was just always, it was overwhelming. Just to say the least, it was overwhelming to me. So now it's like I'm a little calmer and I'm a little, whatever. And now I can deal with things better. But, if I could go back with the knowledge that I have now to redo that, I think that things would have been better. I would have been in a better spot. But, you know, you live and you learn and you just keep going. But just don't get stuck in your mess in your mind, your past. It'll hijack you, it'll mess you up, and your future waiting on you, and you sitting up there trying to deal with past crap. And okay, it happened. Who can change the past? I can't go back to yesterday. You can't. Let's move on. Let's just move on.
The life, the world, all these things happen. That's what we are.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll be like, damn, I wish I had a son that was Antoine. Everybody can't have a son like Antoine. You know what I'm saying?
No, God broke the mold on you, bro.
Well, you should have fixed that one. Anyways. So
he gave you daughters.
I have daughters, and I love my daughters from the depth of my heart.
Yeah.
Those are mine. Those are mine.
Even biologically, you have 3, but really in love, you got 4.
I'll tell everybody I got 4. Period.
You do got 4. I count her in the night. She's part of the 19. So just in case you didn't know, she's calculated in the 19. So therefore, she's already been claimed. So, but
That's
it's
all
just,
good.
yeah,
That's all
yeah.
good.
She's already claimed. But it's just, like I said, I believe that sometimes God, we ask God for certain things, but then He give us what we need, not what we want. And you, as a as a young man who had a young
I
mother
don't know
who,
how young I am. Oh, you going back to 84.
yeah,
Oh,
listen,
okay.
you
I thought you
still
was
young. Wait till you get your granddaddy age, 82. Then we can
Nah,
talk
I ain't
about
about
it.
to be nobody granddaddy. I'm just saying I'm not young now, but we can go ahead on
You
it.
as a young man.
Go ahead.
Now you listen. I think God gave you daughters for this purpose. You have a mother who had some issues and made some bad choices and did some things and whatever. But now you have daughters. So now you're like, okay, and you're very protective of your daughters. But now
Absolutely.
you get an opportunity to lead the women, young women, in a better way than what your mom got.
So are we going to go with the thing that I have to actually lead these girls? Because I'm going to lead these girls. These girls, because what I got, because you done told everybody that I got 4 of them. So I'm going to lead these girls in a
Yep.
way that, first of all, ain't no, I don't know what the word is that I'm supposed to use, but I want to say nigga gonna ever treat them in a way that they will have to stand there and be complacent with how they're being treated. Absolutely not.
Exactly. So
That's not the way
now,
that, that's not the way that they're going to be treated. Absolutely not.
exactly. So now that's what I'm saying
I
is
was
that
not, but mom, now this debate though, I was not raised that way. I was not,
that's right.
I was
And
not raised
God
that way.
giving you, that's why I said God gave you girls, because He gave you an opportunity to change the whole
But ain't
thing.
nobody ever told me how to raise a girl.
No one didn't have to
First of
tell
all,
you.
I had
You knew
one
what
sister.
not to do. You knew what not to do. See, you don't have to
Oh
know
no,
what to
mother,
do.
mother, mom, you on my live now. Now understand this. Understand this. I never, I was never told or trained how to even be in a relationship. I never was.
Exactly.
I what I do know is I do have a woman. That is true. And that woman actually is the highlight of my day every day. Now, as far as my children are a thing that I know that I'm responsible for. I messed up at the beginning. I did not do the things that I was supposed to do at the beginning. And then I started to. And now, with me doing that, I'm catching up.
Yeah.
I'm catching up with my 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 adult children, my younger children. I'm catching up. Me personally, don't believe that I will ever catch up, especially because they're all women, they're all females. I will never catch up. But what I do know is they will know that Antoine Marquise Forrest definitely always loves his daughters. That's the thing that they have to they can take that wherever they want to take it. But I always definitely love my children.
Okay.
What I
So now,
always will do is love my children.
so listen to this. Before we sign off, let me explain something. Why I believe that the Lord gave you daughters. So listen to what I'm gonna say. You as a man who never had the training up of how to treat a woman, how to raise a daughter, how to be in a relationship, had a mother who never had a father there to teach her that. And even though I never had a father there to teach me that, I have a son who God blessed to be able to do that. So, what you're giving your children, I never had.
You have multiple sons who do that though.
I'm just letting you know that
Right.
what you understand what I'm saying though.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
What you're
You have
doing,
multiple, but I'm just saying, your sons, you have multiple ones that do that. You have one that's is this is my show, the FO show, and then A1 Talk and all that. Trayvon was on there before. he take care of his kids.
Yeah. Even from
My
where he
baby,
at.
my baby,
Yeah.
my baby bro. I ain't gonna say his name, but he take care of his child.
Oh
We
yeah.
go we're gonna do that. That's a thing that's gonna be done.
But isn't it ironic that you come from a mother who did not have a father that did that?
I can't
That's what's ironic.
I can't trash my grandfather's name though,
No,
ma.
if he did what he did, he can't change the past. Me and my dad relationship is a-okay today. But at the beginning, I could not. I did not have a relationship with my father. Now, it was part my fault and part his fault. We both are to blame because I wouldn't open up to him and I wouldn't let him open up to me because I wouldn't accept him because I was a hurt. But the point is, I still didn't have that to lead and guide me. But see, your kids are getting the opportunity to see this is how a father treats a child. So therefore, you know how a man, even if you don't say a man treat a woman, his wife or whatever, but you still know that, hey, this is how a man's supposed to treat you, period. I never had that. I learned by trial and tribulation.
Who who taught me that?
Yeah.
Who taught me that?
Ooh, Coralie?
No, me. I taught me that. I
Yeah,
understood
but
that
don't
was a
don't
thing that
think
was
don't
supposed
think
to
it was
happen.
just you. It was Coralie praying for her and us and you, for her kids and her grandkids.
Understand that you can't give me nothing. Give me some of that. I mean, understand.
But yep, but you had to take it and move on with it. So, but yeah, but it's
I didn't want
ironic
that.
how sometimes
I didn't want that all that. But what I was saying is you couldn't raise a man. That was the thing that happened. The greatest man that I've known is actually probably my little brother, as far as raising his child, as far as a person who was a person that came from you, then from then, yeah, my little brother, he started
yeah,
something. I want him to start that.
yeah. But regardless, hey, we still family. I mean, we could fight and fuss and all that, but when it come down to it, we come together.
All right. Well, let's be out now.
All right
Hey,
then. Yep, because it's their bedtime. So
everybody, thank you for listening to the FO show. I love y'all. Thanks for listening to this. Is me and my mom. This is a little live and uncut. And we out here.
all
Y'all
right.
be
Love
good.
y'all. Peace out.
Be good.
All right.